Hello. So today I'm going to go over just a couple of Android shortcuts that I use, Android Studio shortcuts that I use often when working. So the first one I think I use often is Command E. Of course, like just one disclaimer. This is specifically for Mac. If you have Android Studio on Mac, this is the key binding I use, which I expect a lot of Android engineers do. You could just look up um, the equivalent shortcut for your specific operating system, but the ones to learn that I use often, so you would get most return on investment of learning, are the ones that I'm going to mention here. So the first one is recent file, and that's Command E. So usually when you are coding, let's say you are in the activity, and then maybe you want to go to something like your XML file. Of course, if you are using Compose, maybe it will be your layout file, your theme file. Then it would be really convenient to go back to one of the files that you accessed earlier, to just use Command E and go back. And so that's what I use often. I just press Command E and go to my for example, the build Gradle file. Maybe I want to update a dependency, and then go back to my activity and start writing the code, right? The other one that I use pretty... so close all tabs. So the other one that I use a lot is also Command 1. So that's just to go through the set of files. I usually do it to... if I want to check the project structure, but not to access a specific file. To access a specific file, I just use double shifts and just start writing the name of the file. Okay, but Command A to access the project structure is pretty useful as well. And so you can see even here that they have the five shortcuts that are used often, and in practice, I can tell from experience, these are the ones I used a lot. So double shift here to access anything. It can be files. So for example, when I want to access the main activity, I will do double shifts. Or even like to write some command, let's say maybe keyword, or let's say maybe I want to access the templates, right? Right, the code templates. So I can go like this and just do double shift and just start writing what I'm looking for. So that's search everywhere, project view, recent file. The navigation bar, I don't use this often. So this can be like if you have something like this and you want to maybe you have your main activity, maybe you want to explore the package. I also use this actually a lot, which is just command up arrow, command and up arrow. So that will give you an easy way to access the package without going to the project view. And so you can do something like this, go in the package like that, or let's say I want to access the tests. And so I go to here and I go to my tests, right? So that's also very useful. And you can see here what I did is just double shift, close all, because I want to go back to the view where close all tabs, because I want to go back to this view here. Okay, so we saw navigation bar, recent file, project view, and search everywhere. The other one is go to file, so that's Command Shift O. And here you could just go to a specific file. So in practice, I usually just use search everywhere because you could just type and go there, but you could, if you want to, also just do Command O and just not get other suggestions. Let's say when you type M, you get other suggestions. You want a file, then you can do Command Shift O, and then start typing your file. You could also do Command Shift A if you want to just search for the actions. So maybe here refactor, for example, right? So that's an action. Modularize, you could choose one of them, right? Another one yeah, so another one is if you want to just search classes, which you could just go here, go to classes, but I don't use that often, honestly. Yeah. Okay, so another one that I also use it a lot. So let's say you are coding. Of course, when you finish the task, you want to run it either on your device or on your emulator. And for that, I don't usually click on the run app. I just use Control R. If you hover here, you can see that's what the command option that you use to run the app. And so this is also one worth learning, because this project has an issue, so it's not going to run. But yeah, this one is often worth learning as well. Just Control R, and that will run the app for you. Yeah, so that's another one I use a lot. Debug app, I use it less, but if you want to learn it, it's just Control D. Okay, so one more that I use a lot is actually when writing code. Let's say I want to refactor something. So let's say, for example, I want to change this control to actions. Instead of going here and looking for refactor and then doing a rename, what I usually do is Control T, and that the first one is usually rename, right? You could learn F6, but I usually don't do that just because it's easier to do this, to remember Control T. So yeah, recommend definitely doing Control T, and so that would be Control T, rename, and then maybe here we want to rename it to actions, right? So yeah, I think that's a very useful one to learn as well. The other one is basically selecting a function. So let's say I'm here, and for the sake of renaming, I want to select this fill max width, right? So instead of going to to a mouse or your trackpad and then selecting this, which is slower, at least for me, what I usually do is just click Option and up arrow. So Option, basically your Option command, Option plus up arrow. And so that would be something like this. So I'll just have the cursor on the function. I would do Option and then the up arrow, and I will do Control T, right? So what the Option up arrow does is select the function, and then you could do Control T and rename it. Yeah, I find this in practice while writing code. I use this a lot. Because when you are writing code, of course, you are always naming things. You are always thinking, oh, this name is not accurate. Let me rename it to a better one. And this is where this comes from. One more that I use every now and then. Not as much as the other, but I think it's useful to know. So let's say, for example, you are writing your code, you add a log. So maybe something like, let's say here, actions, maybe adding a log when some action is run. Let's say selected. Let's say we are adding an action when the main divider function is called, right? We are adding a log, so main divider displayed, something like this. And so we import the log. This is something that we do a lot as Android engineers, which is adding a log function. And then once you are done debugging, you remove your log function. Now you have this unused import that will cause a warning. So quickly cleaning the imports, optimizing them, so that will remove the unused one, arrange them in the proper order. You could do Control Alt or Control Option O. So here you can see it's there. So Control Option O or Control Alt O, depending on how you want to call it, and that will remove the unused one, right? The other way that sometimes I use if I don't remember Control Alt O is just do Command Shift A to get the action prompt, and just do optimize import and click on it, right? So two ways of doing it: Control Alt O, or just look up the actions and do optimize, type optimize import, right? Yeah, so I think those are the most important ones. So I'll stop here. I think it's good for these to just learn them a little bit more at a time, so that at least the most important ones become muscle memory, and then you can learn more and just become faster as you go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye.